Saying hi to everybody. This is a substitute meeting. We're going to talk about air matters tonight. And we should start off by saying that this is an independent Niken consultant presentation. This has nothing to do with the corporate, but that's because we're awesome, and well, they are too, but we're more awesomer, if that makes any sense. Okay, so how many of you think that life is about choices? I know you can't answer me, but I'm going to be asking questions anyway. I know life is about choices. Do you agree or disagree? And yeah, I know you all agree. So we're going to move on, okay? The main part of this, the main part of my focus, the main part of our focus right now is that we are encouraging people to be healthy by choice and not by chance. And we're going to Gary will discuss that in another presentation, because if you are betting your health on not doing it, by not choosing healthy, well, we've got some bad news for you. The jury's already in. It's just not going to work for you. You're going to be unhealthy if you don't move to a healthy position. So that's why we're really kicking this concept that we want to introduce you to an active process through which people can become aware and make choices towards a healthier life. And that is our job, to do that for people. Now, we say that Niken is a complete self-care solution. These are not all the product lines, the air, water, sleep, food, and light that we have. We also have skin and energy, of course. But these are kind of the durable goods. And tonight's topic is, oh, by the way, Niken's been around for 40 years, in case you didn't know that. They are a health research institute. You probably all know that. You're probably about ready to go to sleep on me. And you probably want to know that the way they've tied this together in a wellness home is just absolutely fantastic, phenomenal, because it's easy that even I can understand this. Our topic tonight is air matters. Now I need to move this window. Now, let me ask you guys a question. And I know, again, I mean, those of you on video, raise your hand if you want to. But how long can you live without air? Minutes? Days? How long can you hold your breath before you die? Okay? So in other words, what I'm saying, you can go without water for days. You can go without food for months. But with air, it's a matter of minutes. Maybe a Navy SEAL underwater can go for 7 or 8 minutes, but it's a matter of minutes. So that means that air is pretty dang important to the body. Let me ask you another question. When you fan a flame, you go shh, and you fan the flame, what happens to the flame? Does it burst up and get real large? Of course it does, because you're injecting what? Air into it. Okay, so air is the flame of your body. Okay? It is the thing that, with the lack of air, it is the thing that will kill you the fastest. And I don't like to use the word death with such a beautiful audience as this, but it is a fact. Air is very vital. So let me ask you one more question. If air is so vital to the existence of our human body, why would we not want to consider giving it the best possible air we could? Why would we want to give it dirty, polluted, crummy air to deal with? So take in a big breath. You all know that we breathe about 26,000 times a day. So take in a big breath and say, here, body, have some good air in this. There's no, wait a minute. Look what's in this air. What are you trying to do to me? And so the flame of our body just does not get fanned. Fan is the word I'm looking for. Okay, so let's look at some of the stats, and let's paint a picture about dirty air. What do you think? How many of you guys have ever seen this before? This might surprise part of you. Did you guys know that air pollution is the 4th highest rank factor for death in the world? Did you guys know that? No? I see somebody shaking their head like this, and I understood, because I did not know that. Now, the next part of this sentence is also very enlightening. It is by far the leading environmental risk factor for disease. Well, that's kind of a big deal. But if you think about it, should that really surprise us if we fully understand how important air is to the body? Now, let's go one little topic a little bit deeper about this. Now, a lot of people don't even think about this. We all think that the air outdoors is dirty, polluted. Okay, I'm out in the country, so my air is probably not quite as polluted as city air. You live in Canada, you think you're thinking you're bad because you got good clean air. Well, I got a problem for you. I got a little thing for you. The air inside your house is a combination of what is inside your house and the air outside your house. So even though you're in one of the largest industrialized cities in the world and you have dirty brown air, guess what? The air inside your house is even dirtier. So I know that's good news. Now, the bad news about all that is that we spend about 90% of our time indoors. How many of you love to spend time indoors? Go ahead, raise your hand. I don't see anybody raising their hand. That's okay. All right. But the pollutants can be anywhere. Somebody unmuted themselves. Okay, you're all back on mute only. Can you guys hear me still? Okay, thank you. Pollutants can be 2 to 100 times higher inside than outdoors. Okay, so that would generally be saying that the air inside the house is 2 to 100 times more polluted than the air outside your house. Now, you're going, gasp, I don't believe it. It's true. I've even seen those numbers go from 4 to 400, and I think that 400 is if you have a smoker inside the house. If you have a smoker inside the house, I'd kick that person, sorry, tush tush, outdoors and say, go smoke outdoors. Okay? Was that me? Okay. 50% of all illness is aggravated by air pollution and by indoor air pollution. Should not surprise us by some of the things that we've heard before this. MSNBC picked up an article that was done. I'm sorry, I forgot who did this, but they reported that the typical air inside California, and this is a California study, but I'm sure it's pretty well good for the rest of the nation, is that what they found inside the house was water leaks, mold, copper, arsenic, the dreaded lead. Lead is really, really hard on adults, let alone babies or younger people, dust mite, gas links. So that's just some of the things that you can find typically inside of your home. Let's go one more screen. We're almost out of the bad news, you guys. How many of you think that lead paint is no longer an issue? Yeah, I thought so. That's an old issue. But if you got kids, 83 to 86% of the public and private homes still have lead-based paints in them. So this is not necessarily a pristine picture that we're painting here. EPA ranked indoor quality as the 4th highest risk factor. That should not surprise us since it's the 4th highest death factor globally. And nationwide studies show that. Now this is kind of a downer, so we're going to get the good news here pretty fast. Nationwide studies show that local studies show that particulate matter, when that particulate matter or air pollution goes up, premature deaths go up also. So not necessarily good news all the way around here. So let's talk about some of the things, some of the harmful chemicals, some of the harmful things that what add to the pollution indoors. Well, let's consider the furniture and the construction materials. Construction materials have lead, formaldehyde, and any adhesives. Anytime things are glued, you'll notice that we also have furniture. When you buy glued furniture, most of your houses have wafer board. How many of you know what wafer board is? I know you can't answer me, but you know on the roof they put that wafer board. Well, what that wafer board is, it's really wood chips glued together, and that's what it is, and it's so kind of cheap. So you're basically buying a roof full of outgassing glue. So any furniture you can buy that is whole wood, not glued together, is far better. Carpeting is another huge outgasser. The bedding, and as a matter of fact, the bed itself is another one. If you go research what's inside of a bed and you start seeing proprietary ingredient, that's code for saying this stuff is so bad that we don't want you to know what's really inside that bed. They say it's proprietary because only we have it and we're so good because we have this, but really it's just code for saying this stuff is so bad that we don't even want to let you know. Now, in the mattress area, they do have to make those fireproof to meet fireproofing laws. So not all their fault, but there you go. In the kitchen, the vapors, the smoke, They're now finding out that smoke and vapors out of the kitchen can include what we're going to call ultrafine particles. You may not have heard that, but some of the latest studies about ultrafine particles is opening a whole new realm of pollution. It's just you thought pollution was bad before. Wait till you get into ultrafine particles. Household products, the solvents, insecticides, the herbicides, the cleansers, ammonia, Clorox, your heating, air conditioning, don't want to even know what's in some of those. And of course the bathroom with the aerosols and the sewer gas, blah, blah, blah. So those are major sources of indoor pollution, and that is a good reason why we can say that indoor air is basically outdoor air mixed with all that crap from what we put around us, what we sleep on, and what we have inside of our house. So what are some of the symptoms that you may show if you have poor air quality inside your house? This is a real good question, isn't it? Headache, eye irritation. You can read those. Now, let's run a little scenario here. Let's say that you have some of those symptoms, okay? And let's say you go to the doctor, okay? Pretty normal, right? All those things. You think the doctor is going to look down that list of symptoms and you say, whoa, well, I think that you have this, and so let's give you this prescription and this prescription. Do you think that's what's going to happen? Or do you think that you're going to go on that doctor and that doctor is going to say, you know what, I think we need to look at the air quality inside your house first. I think we need to go find and measure that. How many of you think the doctor's going to, how many, I can already see people smiling and going, naughty, no, it's not. So how many people that have indoor air quality problems, how many of those people actually are on prescriptions because the doctors misdiagnosed some of those symptoms? Okay, so some of those symptoms, so if you see some of those symptoms in you, what you may want to do is just get your little tush down to your Nikon webpage and buy an air filter, an Ulpa air filter. Does that make sense to everybody? It should. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Let's talk about no talk would be complete if we didn't give you some simple, basic things that you can do to lower or to better the indoor quality. Don't store chemical solvents, glues, or pesticides in your house. Now, when I first read that, I laughed, and then I opened up a closet door, and I saw that I was storing some wasp poison inside the closet. So apparently I need some common sense help, just like virtually everybody else in this country. So watch what you store inside your house, because that all mixes into the air. Minimize and properly maintain your heating and venting equipment. You want to eliminate smoke, particularly during the winter years. Any kind of smoke is bad for you. But if you don't have an open flame or that's burning wood or anything, you need to be careful of carbon monoxide, and even getting some alarms to let you know when you have high carbon monoxide is not a bad idea. Remove some of the sources of the air contaminants. Rip out your carpet and put in whole wood. Put in some oak flooring, baby. No, buy organic furniture. Just buy things that you don't glue, okay, if you can, if at all you can. Don't idle your car next to the house. I laughed at that one. But it makes sense. If you have your car next to the house and there's a window open, don't idle your car. If you store some of the stuff in your barn, I'm rural, so we don't have barns. We don't have garages, we have barns. So if you store the stuff in your garage and you're going to be in your garage, well, open up the doors and make sure it's well ventilated if you're going to be inside the garage. And I'm sorry, can you guys hear that phone? That's my wife telling me she's on the way home. So if that is the case, just ventilate that very well. You will also notice at the very, very end of everything, I knew this was going to happen. The biggest thing you can do about avoiding bad indoor air quality is use an air filter system. What an idea, isn't it? Wonderful, wonderful idea. And we didn't come up with this. Nobody at Nikon came up with that. Other people did. So if you're going to get an air cleaning device, what are some of the best ways to do it? Portable units are normally best because you can carry them from room to room. If you have a child of 6, take it into there and take it so to help the child have less disease in the air. Now, please notice that we're going to see the high efficiency filtration recommended, and you're going to see the 0.3 microns, and you're going to see the difference between HEPA and ULPA filters. And what we're going to get into that very closely. Remember, I had mentioned ultra-fine particles. HEPA is no longer as efficient or as good as we once thought, because of the ultra fine particle situations. Never use air cleaners that are deliberately produce ozone. I don't know who came up with this idea, but ozone is bad. It's good up in the upper atmosphere because it's good in the upper atmosphere because it shields us from radiation, but down where we breathe ozone, we don't want to breathe ozone. And you want to make sure that it's cost efficient and quiet. I review air filters on my website, and one of the biggest problems that we have, one of the biggest problems we see with people who complain about the air filters that they bought off of Amazon is that fact that they are noisy. You might as well bring in a rock band if you're going to use one of those air cleaners. And then, of course, you want ease of operation. It'd really be nice if you could turn the power on, set it to automatic, and let it scrub the air automatically. So those are some of the things you want to look for. Now, here comes the really good news. This is the really good news. Folks, if you are a Nikon representative or if you're a client, that right there is the best air filter in the world that you can buy at the price. This used to be a $585 product. It's now down to $399. Now, the ULPA, this has an ULPA filter, which is the absolute same filtering standard that surgical operation rooms need for you to have an operation in a hospital. This is the same air quality you get in a surgical operation room. And you know what a clean room is, where they assemble computer parts. This is the same quality of air. You are breathing that same quality of air that you can get under those very, very ultra clean areas. Beautiful, beautiful product. I own 3 of these, and I wish I had about another 20. And how many of you, I know I can't see your answer, but how many of you have actually taken out an old filter and looked at the old filter of what the old filter caught? How many of you seen that really disgusting fine gray mess that the filter? I took a filter out and I held it up against the sun, and it actually blocked the sun. Okay, I held up a white filter next to it, and the white filter was just letting sunlight stream through it. It was absolutely, oh God, it was just gross. And just because I haven't grossed you out enough, here's another one. When inside air, guess what you're mostly breathing? Any guesses? If you were to say dead human skin, you would be correct. Ding, ding, give her a fish. That is correct. All right, so we've probably got enough of that. So here are some facts about the Nikon air filter, and I'm going to take you right to the ULPA. Okay, you see under laboratory quality filtration. I'm going to tell you, do you see where the ULPA takes 99.9995, okay? And as small as particles down to 0.12. Do you remember what the HEPA filter was? It was 0.3. So our filter filters out almost 3 times. Well, the openings are almost three times as small. So they start getting into that ultra fine particle realm that is so dangerous, which is they now believe is a major cause of some of the attention difficulties with children. We do not generate negative ions. We are ozone free. Excuse me, we do generate negative ions. And in case you don't know what a negative ion is, nature builds those for us. That is actually a particle. And nature builds that for us. And they put that is built mostly around waterfalls, lakes, oceans, anything where you have wind and water, and when you get out of the car and you go like that, that is the negative ion that you're experiencing. No ozone, we're free. We have very low noise, and I'm sure you all understand that, all of you that have some. We run for ridiculously amounts of money, and we just leave it on automatic. It seems to run forever. It does have a particle sensor. It does automatically sense what's in the air and does automatically scrub the air. It is lightweight design. So as you can see, we also have independent certification, and the symbols are up there across the top. And that is all fine. And I have no idea what time it is. Okay, we got time. So let's move on here. Now, one other thought I want to leave you with, and that is the fact that when we have people who are ill, the illness, the airborne particles of that illness actually has a physical size. Okay? It's a particulate matter in a sense. Viruses, all kinds of things, there's a physical size to it. This filter is so effective. It goes down to 0.12 microns, and it filters out 99.9995% of all particulate matter. In fact, it even goes a little bit further if you read deep into Niken literature, and you do that. It's interesting reading, but it helps to not spread airborne diseases, and that's one of the main things I want to leave with you tonight. Is that. So I hope you understand. I think that this picture pretty well says it all. I think that if you want to be healthy, you need to clean the air, because you breathe 26,000 times a day on a typical notice. And the air inside your house, we spend 90% of the time inside our house, and we need that air scrubbed. And so with that, we're going to move on. I hope you all like that. Now, if you are if you're here and you're looking at the Niken Choice, we would recommend, if you're interested to find out more, or you might be interested in purchasing an air machine, that you contact the person that came with you. The access to becoming a customer is free and very easy to do. There's absolutely no obligation. And the people that brought you here to this conference call or this webinar will be able to help you about it. You will gain access to care information. You'll have the direct ability to order Niken products whenever you want. And that is about it. Now, we were going to talk, well, like I said, Dr. Gary is going to give his talk tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and I'm sorry for that. And so I'm going to open up the microphones, and I'm going to ask people if you have actually, I think you can all unmute yourself. So if anybody has a testimony they'd like to give, we have about 7-8 minutes that we could take some testimonials. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you want. Does anybody have any questions about what I may have said? I see that Rex and Susie Olson have unmuted themselves. Rex, go ahead.
Hey, Sparks, how you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Excellent.
By the way, you guys, Rex is a direct business partner of mine. He's one of the nicest guys in the whole world, and I couldn't be happier. Go ahead, Rex.
Well, we just had a couple of very good ABCs with one of my downlines, Lisa Ulmer from Oakhurst, and we had a couple of people that are just extremely interested in all of Niken's technologies, and it just makes me happy, and it energizes me to watch people start to take control over their own health, and it's just really neat. But in terms of the air, the only thing I want to say, and I'll be brief so somebody else can get in here, that is Susie, my wife's major challenges when we came into this company, before we came into this company, were breathing challenges, and the Kenko Air, the Niken air filter, the 2 shower heads, which help get rid of the chlorines that you're breathing when you take a shower. Those 2 things were absolutely critical in turning her around. She wanted nothing to do with any of these products She wanted nothing to do with Nikan. But within 2 short months, her life and my life absolutely turned around. And now Nikan has become a passion of both of us. We cannot help but share these products and these technologies with people from wherever we are. Doesn't make any difference. So that being said, please, please, please take a look at the air. Take a look at some of the things that you're doing. And I'm telling you what, this company is without a doubt the way to go.
Rex, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Was your wife overly happy when you put those products in the house?
She told me to get them out of the house. She said, we don't need these products.
You don't need the products. And how's she doing now?
She has absolutely turned around. She has dropped 2/3 of her prescriptions. Her doctor who was giving her those prescriptions, the lady has said, Susie, just keep doing whatever you're doing and we'll just keep taking them off your chart. And her goal at this point is to get rid of all of her prescriptions. She has energy. She is a grandma. She's a business partner of mine in our family business. She works her butt off. And let me tell you, I got my wife back. That's what I did when Dr. Gary and Sparks met with me the first time. They asked me, Rex, what do you want out of life? And I said, I want my wife back, because I was watching her step into the grave one step at a time. Every prescription was a step closer to the grave. And let me tell you what, I got my wife back.
And back she is. Listen, folks, we have time for one more testimonial. If anybody wants to unmute themselves and give us a shout out. Anybody? If not, Debbie.
Yes,
Debbie?
Is that me that's echoing?
Probably. Yep. Much, much better.
Perfect. That was quite an experience. I have a couple of experiences, but both of them are about, I worked in a spa and they had an ambience in the spa. It was an old Victorian house and they would light candles for the clients. And we had a specialty treatment at that spa that incorporated the Nikan products. And while I had someone on the table, they had entered my room. I had exited while they could get on the table. And while I was gone, they started to go into a asthma attack because of the candles in the room. And what happened was we had an air purifier downstairs. And I said, if you can just hang, she didn't have her medicine. And I said, if you can hang tight, I'm pretty sure I can help you. So I ran down, got the air purifier, brought it up into the room with her. And within moments, her asthma attack just went away and she didn't have it.
Oh, that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Tonight, Dr. Gary Lindner will be here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and he will give his speak. He just texted me. He's on the road now. He greatly apologizes. I hope that this was okay for you and that you enjoyed it. You learned something. And if you want to get a hold of me personally, you can contact me at sparks@behealthybemore.com. And I will try and connect with you and take care of whatever you want to talk about or whatever you want to ask about. So I love you all. Nikan is the best place in the whole world. This is a very exciting time for us. So let's go out and let's share wellness. Let's share self-care to everybody in the world. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and end.